starting right now on ABC's This Week. New this morning, the patient in Dallas infected with Ebola now in critical condition, fighting for his life. As health officials scramble to contain the deadly disease, new concerns about how the hospital handled him. Is the U.S. really prepared for an outbreak? Our Dr. Besser is here, just back from the hot zone. Countdown to the midterms. Just 30 days to go. What President Obama said that has Republicans pouncing. And can Hillary Clinton's barnstorming tip the balance in key states? Plus, honoring our wounded warriors. The new memorial opening today for all those men and women who have sacrificed so much for our country. Our Bob Woodruff is there. From ABC News, This Week with George Stephanopoulos begins now.
And we begin with all the latest on the Ebola crisis. As that patient in Dallas struggles right now, so much fear the epidemic will spread right here in America. Look inside that plane landing at Newark Airport yesterday. Homeland Security on board after officials in hazmat suits removed a man with flu-like symptoms. It turned out to be one of many false alarms being checked out right now by the CDC. Director Tom Frieden here today along with Dr. Besser. And ABC's Ryan Owens starts us off from Dallas. Good morning, Ryan.
George, good morning to you. Thomas Eric Duncan has now been at this Dallas hospital for a full week, and this morning his condition is worse than ever. The hospital will only say the Liberian national is in critical condition. His family says much more. His nephew tells ABC News Duncan is not conscious. He's so heavily sedated. He's gone into kidney failure and is on dialysis. The Ebola victim also cannot breathe on his own and is on a ventilator. Duncan's girlfriend and her family, we blurred their faces to protect their privacy, have been having their temperature monitored by CDC disease detectives twice a day. So far, so good.
We are confident that none of those with definite contact had any symptoms related to Ebola. None of them had fever.
The CDC says 9 people in Dallas are considered at high risk for infection. Those 4 family members plus some medical personnel. Approximately 40 other people who may have had contact with them are considered low risk. The hospital here may have missed the signs and sent Duncan home after his first visit, but now everyone else seems determined not to.
We are not facing just a health crisis. We are facing a national security priority.
The result? A lot of false alarms. 2 suspected cases around Washington, D.C. have tested negative. And Saturday, CDC investigators met a flight from Brussels at Newark International after a patient from Liberia got sick on the flight. Fellow flyers thought it might be Ebola. It wasn't. Ebola symptoms usually show up 8 to 10 days after exposure. Remember, Duncan has been here for 7 days, so you do the math. Right now is the really anxious time for folks here in Dallas. George?
Okay, Ryan, thanks. Let's get more on this now from the mayor of Dallas, Mike Rawlings. Mr. Mayor, thanks for joining us. I know you're right outside the hospital where Mr. Duncan is being treated right now. What more can you tell us about his condition?
All I know that he's been downgraded to critical, and churches all over Dallas will be praying for him this morning. Our focus is on his contacts and really the safety of Dallas. Dallas is safe and Dallas is calm. But this is very serious, and we're taking it as such.
And Mayor, you know, there have been some complaints from the family about how they were treated early on, whether they got all the information they needed. Are you confident now that they do know everything that's going on and they're being cared for in the proper way?
I am. I met them personally on Friday. We moved them to a secluded, safe area where the young child can play basketball and get out in the yard. We've got 2 people with them all the time, taking care of their needs. And we're working with the other contacts to make sure they're there as well. That they're taken care of as well with all their questions are answered. I will say, working with at least 5 different major jurisdictions in a process like this, you get moving a little slower than you want. I would like to have done it faster, but I think we're up to speed and everybody knows what's happening now.
Pretty confident now there will not be any other cases of Ebola, or can't you say that yet?
We really can't say that. I believe that if there is, we will have those contacts isolated the way that our plan is in place. We've gone from a number of nearly 100 down to out just under 50, and we're playing a man-to-man defense, if you will, in a compassionate way, but we've got each individual really kind of focused on another individual to make sure that we monitor their temperature every 2 days. And then we're getting out and just living our lives in Dallas. The State Fair opened. We had the biggest opening in history, and I went to an Oktoberfest a mile away from where this happened, and people were out all over the place. So I think Dallasites are confident, and we are focused on what we need to be focused on.
And what do you say to parents sending their kids back to school tomorrow?
They are, and we plan for full attendance. The school system did a great job. Parents didn't freak out. As far as I'm concerned, we only had a 10-point drop in attendance. And the students that were kept out, we've got them homeschooling and have got a great education package in place for them with one-to-one tutoring.
Thanks very much for your time this morning.